This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iPhone TV in association with Macklin Marvel. We're on the train back from Blackpool.
I always feel a bit, you know, on a train like people walking past going,
What
is
they
that
do.
geezer with a dodgy jacket there?
Everyone's waiting.
We're weighing out,
Hello.
back to London,
Commitments,
romancing, not with each other.
obviously. Brian Rose, Carson Jones. Interesting.
Yeah, good fight. I mean, PRIZEFIGHTER's sort of evolved from an event within itself to an event with another event on top. In this one with two undercard fights as well. I really like Brian Rose against Carson Jones. Obviously, got a little soft spot for Brian Rose. I know we all have our little jokes about Kell Brook, Carson Jones 3 and blah blah, but he always brings entertainment. I think the styles gel well. You know, Brian's got a great jab, good technician, not the biggest puncher. Carson just loves to come forward relentlessly. So I think, you know, the last kind of fight you saw fight Brian Rose like that was Maciel, and that was a great fight. So I think you're going to get the same tomorrow night.
Spoke to Brian Rose earlier and he's, well, it's just how it is. He wants another world title shot.
Yeah, he must win tomorrow night. You know, obviously he got to a certain level. He won British title. You know, beat some, say, European level opponents. Got the world title opportunity, become mandatory through the Maciel victory. Got the opportunity against Andre, who was just too good. Came back with a nice win in October, and now he's tasted it. He's been out in America and he wants the same. Feels like he didn't do himself justice in that fight, and wants to get another bite of the cherry. We've had loads of talks with some huge fights in America for him, but first things first, get tomorrow out of the way.
Scott Garnell is obviously also on the bill. What is the situation with him being mandatory for the British title?
Well, we're getting messed around a little bit, as you'd expect. You know, we lost the purse bid by a couple of £100, and they were supposed to fight. They put a date forward in January for them to fight. We accepted, and they pulled out of the fight, even though it was already arranged and contracted by us. And then they made Flanagan against Ormond. The board ruled that Flanagan against Cardle must take place by the end of March, otherwise Flanagan will be stripped of the title. I don't think they have any intention of holding that fight before the end of March. Obviously Flanagan's fighting tomorrow night. If he wins, he's going to go on to probably a bigger fight, and if he doesn't win, then I don't think he's going to be ready for March, end of March. So Scott Cardle, in my opinion, will end up fighting for a vacant British title. First is just ticking over tomorrow night. Only the one fight in September, but obviously it was a first round KO, so important to get him out, and we'll wait and see who the board mandate Scott Cardle to fight against. But maybe something crazy will happen with Flanagan. But in my opinion, Terry Flanagan won't be fighting Scott Cardle for the British title. Hope he does. Good fight.
Have the board made Rocky Fielding mandatory?
That was in their circular yesterday. Yeah, Rocky Fielding's mandatory for Paul Smith. That'll go to purse bids in about a month's time, obviously, unless we negotiate a deal, or Paul Smith vacates the title. Obviously, Paul's fighting Arthur Abraham next week, I think. If he wins the world title.
Funny timing by the board to do
Quite
that.
strange, yeah.
For a world title fight.
Yeah, I think they were under a little bit of pressure because obviously, you know, he's been inactive, the belt, and the loss by Paul and getting the rematch hasn't helped the situation in terms of the British title activity. So yeah, they could have waited, I suppose, another month. Both our fighters, you know, if Paul was to lose against Arthur Abraham, I'm not sure what he'll decide to do. Fingers crossed, and we all believe that he's going to win. And if he does win, can't see him defending the British title. So we'll wait and see what happens next week.
Okay. What was that noise?
Quite nice. I can't hear anything. Your ears.
I don't know what happened.
You're in trouble. Sorry, I don't know if you want to delete that or what.
Any updates on DeGALE and Dirrell?
Still talking. Things are going okay. Obviously, you know, we've got that date booked for April 25th. That's where we want it to be, and I'm still very confident that'll get made. Hopefully, we get some kind of deal made next week. You're really, I can hear it now.
Can you hear some sound?
Sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Have there been any updates in DeGALE-DIRRELL?
Yes, going okay. Still talking. Obviously, you know, April 25th is the date at the O2 that we want. Still very confident to making that happen. But I'm not there yet. Hopefully next week we'll have a deal.
So when are you looking to actually make a formal announcement
Hopefully
about
at the end of next week.
Is that for the whole show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another big world title fight on there as well.
Yeah? Interesting. Who?
You know who it is. I'm not going to announce it yet, but that will come with the announcement.
Okay. Okay. So obviously this is looking like DeGALE-DIRRELL. DeGALE Groves looks dead in the water, completely dead.
Yeah. You know, obviously there was a move there to be made where we knew that Ramirez didn't want the DeGALE fight just yet. So if George Groves would have fought James DeGALE, there was a move to make Andre Dirrell potentially hang fire for the winner, but we didn't have that conversation because there was no deal between DeGALE and Groves. So DeGALE-DIRRELL is a great fight, two elite super middleweights. Great fight because they're two very, very talented fighters, and it's a tough one to call. I think Dirrell is probably the favourite, but DeGale's on fire at the moment and his confidence is on another level, and if he wins he becomes a massive name in the division.
We are now arriving at London Euston.
Oh.
The final stop.
Just quickly,
for this service.
Froch.
Please take care when leaving
Twitter
the train.
rumours,
Make sure you have
potential
everything with you.
Frocch-Hopkins.
Hopkins has been saying a lot. Obviously he fancies the fight. It's a big fight. Chavez is still the favourite in the fight that we'd like to make, but Hopkins would be a great fight to make.
Is that something that really interests Carl?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's more about the occasion and the event, of course the fight as well. But it wasn't something that was originally planned because obviously he was up at light heavyweight. But he can make super middleweight quite comfortably and stress that he'd like to. I think he skipped the weight, moving from middleweight to light heavy. And he wants to fight Froch. I think Froch is giving him the hump because Froch has had a few choice words, and now I'm getting bombarded on Twitter saying, tell Froch to wake up and fight Bernard, and you know. So I think that's one for the City ground rather than Vegas, so that's something that appeals to Carl. I think HBO loved the fight, Sky liked the fight, so we'll have to see where it goes.
Would it have been slightly more appealing if Hopkins had beaten Kovalev?
Yeah, of course. Stupid question.
Interesting.
It's like saying, you know, would you be slightly more appealing if you were 5'11", blonde? I don't know where this is going.
Alright. Well, alright, well listen, you have a great Valentine's
And
night.
you, big boy.
And you know.
We're 5 minutes ahead of schedule.
Alright. Nothing quick to add. Any developments on the Burns?
Yeah,
Figueroa?
Burns Figueroa's done, so we'll make a formal announcement on that next week. There you go, your computer.
Let's go. Alright, Eddie, and thanks for talking to us.